Cryptid legends doing what they do, bringing information for me and you. Ron Morehead and his Sierra Sounds, Darrell Denton, the Tennessee Bigfoot Man, along with Michelle Desrochers, bring adventures across this land. So much information brought to you each week, actively out there looking as the truth they seek.
That doesn't pump you up, I don't freaking know what will. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, Scott, for that amazing intro. So, welcome to Two Real Cryptid Legends with Darrell Denton and Ron Morehead. Myself, Michelle Desrochers, your moderator, host, and segment producer. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. Tonight's topic, delving deeper into the Sierra Sounds with Ron Morehead and myself. Darrell, of course, is with the lovely Rosie, and we will get into some other important stuff before we get to the topic at hand. So without further ado, Mr. Ron Morehead. Hello.
Hello.
Right?
How are you, Michelle?
Very energized after that intro, would you say?
Yeah, it's quite a song we got going there. I like it.
Yes.
I want to go hunt an alligator or something.
It does. Yeah, that's going to do
Just
it
walk
too.
around a swamp somewhere.
Oh yes. You find all kinds of things in those swamps for sure. Oh, that thing was amazing. So it's you and me, kid, tonight, right? No.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give that announcement? We got a couple of announcements to make tonight.
Well, that's Darrell. You're listening now, which you probably aren't because you're busy with Rosie, but we're going to miss you tonight, Darrell, but we're going to be just fine, and you know it. So.
Yes, and big thanks to everybody for the prayers.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Michelle, for reminding me of that. That was very important. Your energy and other people's energy towards Rosie's recovery is working out, and it worked out well. She's out of she was a day away from going to not being around with us any longer. So got her there just in time and got everything going just in time, and all worked out. So she's got more to look forward to, and I'm so glad. Yeah, she's a nice person, very nice, lovely lady.
Yes, and the power of prayer, energy work, frequency, vibrations, love and light, my friend, love and light. There it is. And you have another announcement also.
Well, I do. My friend Tom Cantrell, who is passing away right now, if he hasn't gone already, he's in the hospital. So he's written several books, and he's here on the West Coast. Actually, he's in Edenclaw now, the home there. And hospice is with him now, or was. I'm not sure if they still are now because he was right on the edge of leaving. But positive thoughts for his transition, because he's been on the edge for a while, and he's okay with it. We're all okay with it because you're just going to go into another state, another state of being. Yeah. So all our bodies are going to go away someday. That's just the long way. It's always been, always will be. That's just.
It's the next level of the journey.
You're born to die. That's where it goes.
It's a vicious cycle.
Entropy just takes over. Your chaos just happens in your body and it gives way. But anyway, positive thoughts to Tom Cantrell's family and and he knows we all think of him, and he knows that we love him. I've
Yeah.
known him for a long time. I introduced my first book, Voices in Wilderness, within one of his events years and years ago, and
Yeah.
so I've known him since before that. I met him in 2008 or 2009 at a convention, I think it was, in
Yeah.
Oregon. And anyway, nice man, really sharp guy. A lot of Bigfoot experiences behind him. He's had a lot of encounters with him, and he's written some books on it. And he's got a good, well, the Renaissance people who did the Flash of Beauty have got a really good interview with him up on site now. If anybody wants to look for it,
Wow.
listen to
It
it.
it is a vicious cycle, and I always say so many of the good people, are always the first to go. But in the chaotic world that we live in, they're probably thinking, I think I've done my work. I'm ready to go
Yeah,
to the next level of challenges. So,
I used to think I was the oldest one in this group, that still does this stuff, and he's been doing just a little bit longer than me.
yes,
And,
wow. Wow.
however, I am a little bit older than him, just a little bit. But
Yeah, a little bit.
he's
Yeah. 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 Well, eventually, like I say, we all get there, and you know,
uh,
uh, the
it's
next level.
important. Yeah, it's important that we know that and take it because it's just transition.
Yes.
And there's nothing, down in Mexico, there's some place down there, they celebrate that stuff.
Yes. No, it's true.
We don't celebrate, we all sit around and mourn or something, and that's all right because we will miss him and his
Yeah.
wittiness and all that,
Yes.
but it's
Well,
just
he
something,
may still be behind the scenes, doing some things while
well,
you're
we
out
don't know,
there.
do we? One thing is
Yeah.
about he knows everything now. See, that's when all your questions will be answered.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
I
you'll
love
know
it.
everything because you know who you are, you know who you really are, because we are
Yes.
three people. There's a person that other people see you as, the person that you see
Mm.
yourself as, and it's the person that you really are inside. That
Yes.
person inside is what counts.
Well, yeah, 'cause that's life's cruel joke, we just all we're all born, we come to this place, and then they say, "Remember who you are," and you're like, they don't you come here without your memories. It's like apparently we come back as, there's something we have to get it right. Well, how do I know if I have to get it right if I don't know what I did wrong? It's like, part of the evolution, I think. And it's just, yeah, it can be very challenging.
Well, it's
Like
easy to
that.
get right. You just respond with love and compassion on everything, and that's right.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
the issues that confront you, because you think they're so bad when something
Yeah.
happens to you or something happens in your life that you just don't
Yes.
like at all.
No.
But you got to understand it's there to teach you, it's not to beat you up.
So you have to live every day as though it's your last. Go on those adventures, and even if it's just, it doesn't have to be a big grandiose thing. Some of us have had that privilege to do so. But I've known people who have stayed within the confines of their own town and their own city, and they just always on an adventure of some sort, and they leave this place completely fulfilled, or at least they leave the physical realm completely fulfilled.
Yeah. Well, I say this, I've been very fortunate. I'm one of those guys that if I wanted to do it, I did it. I figured out a way to do it, and I've
Yes.
had a life that most people wish they could have, but I'm just very, very fortunate. I'm very thankful for it.
Yes.
It just
Yes.
the
Yeah.
cards I was dealt, and I guess I responded properly. I hope I did. I won't know that till after I change forms.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. Well, we've got a lot of people chiming in. Martin, hello. Prayers and love for Rosie and Darrell.
Martin,
Doing really well. Doing really well. So all those prayers and all that love has definitely paid off. So keep up the good work, everybody. Keep it going until they are both home and on the mend. So tonight, it's one of my favorite topics, which is why, I thought, okay, it's just you and me. What can I pick Ron's brain over? It's just like, of course, one of my favorite topics is Sarah Sounds.
take you about 2 seconds to pick up, right?
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, exactly. Because, I remember when you first came on my own show. I mean, you came on twice for each of your books. And I was just completely enthralled with the Sierra Sounds. And you hear your name, everybody's like, oh, yeah, Sierra Sounds. It's like everybody knows Ron and the Sierra Sounds go together in the same sentence. And um, everybody's so intrigued. So aside from the obvious, because of the Sierra Sounds, why do you think people, even somebody who's really may not be into Bigfoot a whole lot, like you get the people who are the cryptid people, then you have people who just have an interest, but when it comes to this specifically, they completely get pulled in.
Well, they think, like so many of us do, that we are the kings of this planet,
Yeah.
and nothing's outside of what we know everything, and they think they know everything. If there was an ape like that out there, we'd know about it, and the government would tell us. Well, sorry, it don't work that way.
Yeah.
They are out there. The government don't tell us. Uh, but they think I had a cousin that way who loved me. I know she did, but she couldn't believe it. She said, "No, those things were there. How can you believe that?" She'd laugh at me, Well,
Yeah.
she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I was, but she just anyway. She
Yeah.
went to her grave thinking it was not real, but she knew after she died. I'm sure because
Oh,
well, we're
yeah.
going to know everything once that happens. But I
Yeah.
just those people that doubt this, I don't try to defend it so much personally. I let the facts that are out there for the professionals that's looked into it.
Hmm.
Facts defend it, and the truth will defend itself always.
Hmm.
I've taken hits in the past, and it doesn't bother me because it doesn't. The truth prevails, and I know what's went on, and I know what other guys did too. It wasn't like we backed a truck up in a parking lot and had a case of beer and recorded some Bigfoots or something. No, it just didn't happen that way. A real remote area, and anybody that's been there, those people who doubt it just don't know the history, and their ignorance will catch up with them someday. I hope, because really, it's it's important that people just open their minds up and not stop
Hmm.
doubting the things they don't understand or wanting to kill what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad because, Wayne and I've had this conversation many times. It's like mankind, man in general, seems to be, like well, everything on this planet, sort of. I mean, it kills, whether it's survival, unfortunately sport. And that's just humans. That's mankind. It's not just a survival thing. But I think when you're looking at these beings, and maybe it's part of our conditioning, why do we have to react a certain way with something just because we don't understand it?
Yes, and I got an answer for that. We're a warring species,
Yeah.
and that's if you dig back into history, and I'm talking about written history from the Sumerian tablets way back that far. You get into how we were really made to be, and it's because of the influence we had that was given. I
Mm,
want people to look into this themselves because I can say this all night long, but until you look into it and read it yourself,
mm,
who are we and what we are and why we're this way is because of how we were made and what DNA got influenced into our to
mm,
make us a warring species. But
mhm,
we have to develop ourselves out of that. We have to vibrate out of that basically, and you do that through love and compassion. That's what the masters have taught all these eons ago.
yeah, yes.
It's love and compassion, and when you get into that and understand how important that is, you find out that things go better for you. Number one, and that does bring your frequency up and
Mhm,
make things better for you as a person, and makes the whole world better. The whole world could just
mm,
treat things like that instead of wanting to kill things and like the wars that we got going on. And
mm,
that's got to
mm,
change.
mhm.
Need a different timeline or something.
Yeah, yeah, well, they're trying to shift it, It doesn't seem to be working that my way, but, um, so this is something we usually evolve into. So when you started, let's say back in the day of Sierra Sounds, were you this type of a thinker even back then, or is this something you
Uh,
involved in? Okay.
no,
So,
I was a religious person, Michelle, but
okay.
I wasn't like I am
Yeah.
now, a
Right.
spiritual person, which we all are. That's who we
Hmm.
are. We are spirits in a body,
Yes. Yes.
and but I wasn't that deep into it. I just knew I had the experience, and we all did up there, and none of us knew what to do with it other than well, some kind of ape out there running around the woods. And that's how researchers still look to it as. And
Mm,
some of them are, they're all different. I don't think they're all different, but I mean, there's a lot of different ones out there, Bigfoots.
mm,
And some of them have been, well, I
mm,
think bred in,
mm,
bred down from crossbreed with indigenous people
mhm,
and more human-like than others. And unfortunately, they become a little different than what I think what we ran into up there was, I don't know what it was, but it was pure, maybe pure alien. I don't know, but they had a Bigfoot, and they have some attributes we never could get the bottom on, and too, and it just
mm,
interesting story, and I think it's brought me to why I'm on your program today. You know, just
mm,
to maybe get into the deeper part of it, but
mm,
people want to know more about the basics first. I think,
mhm.
you know, what
Yes.
did it all. But we were all up there as a hunting camp, 8 miles in the wilderness through some very treacherous, I say treacherous, very imposing country. Once you get there, though, it's like you're in paradise. Uh,
Yes. I'd be happy sleeping up in a little, tree house. I would. Yes.
so anyway, you know the story behind it. You don't question it so much because that's why they've never been debunked, and they can't be debunked because they're real. And we've got the professors behind it who study the sounds. We've got professional cryptolinguist Scott Nelson who studied them also and said it's a language by the human definition of language. So you get into all the da-da-da's about it, and you find out, okay, maybe there's something to it. Well, there is something to it. But
Mm,
my biggest find was when uh, Lieberman, Philip Lieberman, Brown University, said only humans have the vocal mechanism for language. And that put the three dots together. You know,
mm,
these things are outside the human range.
mhm,
The recordings show that, and it was showed in a graph by Professor Curlin, who's a sound engineer, and he showed where the well, they showed a graph on the book Man Like Monsters in Trial and wrote a paper on it. And anyway, that was published in 1980, I think it was, by UCB Press in Vancouver, British Columbia. So you put those dots together, and what we dealt with up there has a human component. Well, that's really
it's big.
interesting,
Yes. Yes.
I think, because
Yeah.
if we got a human component, okay, that answers something about us. Who are we as humans? And what attributes do we have that we're not displaying? Well, like I said, I was raised religiously and Bible-toting people, you know, and I know scriptures. And Christ said, "What I'm doing, you can do." Well, I'm not walking on water yet. I haven't learned how to turn water into wine. I haven't done anything like that. It's too
Mhm.
bad about that one.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, you know, it's not that we
Mm.
can't. We just have to learn how to connect with it all, how to become one with the. I'm sorry, I started preaching on this when you want to hear about Sierra sounds, probably, but
Yeah.
I can't help it. This is what I'm for. That's the only reason I'm alive today is so I can get into this, what this is all taking me to, and all these decades of researching this subject matter.
Well, you've earned the right. You've earned the right. I
Yeah.
found some very interesting comments that I will read off, but we'll back up one quick minute. The naysayers, when all of this first started coming out, how much of that type of feedback were you getting?
Well, quite a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
first few years until other people started experiencing what I started talking about, and
Yeah.
then it started gradually moving over to okay, well, there's something else going on. Well, you know, some people will never get that part because they've never had it happen to them.
Mhm.
And until they do, they probably will never accept that there's more to what went on up there than
Yeah.
just some ape running around the woods and trying to trick us. Well, they do mess with you, but it's all because they think we're smarter. They think that we think we're smarter than them, you know,
Yes. So
and
they
we do,
test that theory.
and we do because they toy with you. Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Well, I found some great comments, because you do find the negative Nellies out there, as I call them. But one comment I thought was great was the Sierra sounds recorded in the early 70s by Ron Morehead, considered to be the best audio ever taken of Bigfoot. Wildlife specialists and linguists from the Navy have studied it, conducted most of it, could not be made by humans. Um, Another comment where the Sierra sounds are the gold standard of Bigfoot audio recordings for good reason. They have been analyzed scientifically for 50 years now, and the evidence is very compelling in favor of the claims of Morehead and Barry. Even then, the recordings were analyzed using spectral analysis, which showed frequencies and pitch outside of our abilities. So so he went on to kind of go after the people in the chat that were within the chat, and it kind of got a little bit quiet after that. But this is what I like is like you put it out there for the world. It's like have at her, analyze it,
yeah, anybody can. I mean,
yeah,
you can have it done. Yeah,
yeah,
and that's what. Well, Mike Patterson, who had some sounds up in Canada,
yeah.
he's been known quite a while for supposedly working
Hmm.
with this thing.
Hmm.
And he asked me. I said, "Well, you got to get it. You got to get the science behind it, or no one's going to listen to you." And he's suffering from that because of it.
Hmm.
So I don't know him personally. I've met him, but I've never been there. And
Yeah.
I wish him well, but you got to get the homework done, and sometimes you just don't do the legwork to make it happen.
Mm.
And Al Berry, he did the legwork for our sound. He actually went to Philip Lieberman at Brown University and asked him. Listen, Philip Lieberman thought he was a hoaxer, trying to discredit him amongst his students. He thought he was a former student just trying to mess with him because he's a cognitive researcher, primate researcher, and he's the one that said only humans have the vocal mechanism for language, and which is true. Everything communicates, but nothing with the cognitive language like we recorded up there, and that's what the cryptolinguists found was cognitive speech. They were actually communicating with each other back and forth, and you can't duplicate that. You can't reach that. And I know even Joe Rogan one time said, "I can make those sounds." Do it like that. Well, I challenged him, publicly, but I think he gave up on that because he realized he wasn't looking too deep enough. Because he's a smart guy and he's got some pretty good guests on. But I just I just want him to. I want people to do their homework. I don't want them to just. They can take my word for it if they want to, because I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
it's
Yeah. That's
it's
helpful.
a, it's a true
Yeah.
story. The whole story is a true story,
Mm.
and I just got it out on audiobook. Actually, it's on my website today as we speak. My
Ah,
audiobook, Voices
congratulations.
of Wilderness, and it's in my language. I mean, in my speech, in my voice,
Mhm.
which is AI produced.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
crazy. I speak for a minute in this microphone, and they take my book and scan my book, and the whole book comes out in my voice. And it's also got the sounds integrated in it, the real sounds that we
Mhm.
recorded there. So that's available now on my website. And then the film should be out in the spring, according to Renaissance Production, who's putting a
Mhm.
documentary out on the Sierra Sound, Sierra Count.
Mhm.
So I got that plug in.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think that needs to happen because this is one of those, it's one of those things that people will come up with their whole line of questions or comments, or they'll come
Hmm.
up with their you either believe it or you don't believe it. But I mean, I think the story it needs to be told and it needs to be put in a place long after you transition to the other part of your
Yeah.
journey, where people could go back and say, wow, nothing,
You know,
before that or since that has ever been captured.
Jill and Brett, who are the Renaissance production people, they know that, and they say this what they're doing now is going to put it over the edge for everybody, because
Mm-hmm.
they've spent 3 years working on this, and they're good editors. They're good, and I trust that they'll do good with this. I hope they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about money. I'm in my 80s now. I've had a lot of money in my past. I've been able to do a lot of things, and
Mm.
I just been very fortunate that way. But I don't now. I'm surprised I've lived this long. To be honest with you.
Well,
uh,
we're glad you have.
well, I'm past the average, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm here for this reason, and for this reason only, I believe,
Mm.
to talk about this stuff. So maybe it'll help somebody to graduate a little bit and learn a little bit more.
Mm.
And if I'm not on the right path, well, take me out now. Ah.
Yeah, great. Just go on your own show. That's good. There's the big finale.
Lightning strikes me.
It's like what? Um, do um do you find from the time you started to now, just within the community, do you see more people a sort of being that let's just go out and trap it and not really research it, or do you find more people are taking the Ron Morehead approach?
Yeah, I think the second one. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if it's Ron Morehead approach, but
No,
it's
but
the
it's the
cautious. It's the understanding, because
yes.
so many people used to be out there going to shoot. I had an offer, oh, take me up there. I'll get one of those suckers. We'll get it filmed and I'll shoot one. Film me too. All that stuff. Well, they don't know what they're talking about.
Mm.
They don't know what I went through up there. They don't know what the other guys went through up there to try to just capture a picture.
Mm.
That was what we were trying to do all the time, walking around with the camera. And anyway, it just
Yeah.
all we could capture was the sounds, and I think the reason we was able to capture those sounds was because of where it's taken me to from that. Because
Mm.
these are spiritual beings, they are energy like we are,
Mm.
and they're not all the same though. And
Well, they're individuals, just like we're individuals. Like what I
yeah,
meant by the Ron Morehead approach is that it is the quantum side of things. It is the fact that they are this
yeah,
evolved spiritual being that they're, not necessarily like, no, not primate. No, beyond. Think beyond.
a little bit bigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the the Patterson Bigfoot Patty up there on Bluff
Yeah.
Creek. I think that was a good example of one that's been diluted down from crossbreeding. And I think that's what people are experiencing. Mostly people are experiencing just that nowadays out in the woods, is those that are just diluted down from crossbreeding over the eons of time. People seem to want to put themselves in a bubble, and
Mm.
we're bigger than that. I mean, this planet's been here for a long, long,
Yeah.
long time. A lot of things have happened. I think on the last program I mentioned something about, you can believe there was a Neanderthal here, there was a Cro-Magnon here, there was a Bushman Hottentot, there was Denisovians. All these different troglodytes have been on this planet, and so aliens have been on this planet. They've
Yes.
all messed with with species on this planet. It's a hybridization program going on, and
Yes.
we're kind of part of that in a way. Uh,
Yeah. Mm.
Not I don't want to take any spirituality away, because that's not who we are. We are, you know,
Mm.
humans, and that's very special. That's very special in my books. And people
What
underestimate what they are, what
what
we
do
are.
you so when say somebody says to you, for example, because a lot of people in of people of faith will say, you know what, a Bigfoot, giants, Nephilim, like that whole aspect, especially when Dr. Melba says, oh, human mother, and we don't know what the father is. That can go off in many different directions. What is your thoughts on that when you hear somebody say that? Because it's a big belief.
Well, I just say it could be. We don't
Yeah.
know, but there's
Yes.
so much happened that we don't know. I mean, in the past, and history's got to be rewritten. I think for a lot of people. I
Mhm.
think, yeah, just it all boils down to if you are religious, and those are the hardest people for me to talk to because I know I know where they're coming from, and I know when
Yes.
they cross their arms like that and look at me like that, I think, oh, I better stop because and if they don't
Yeah.
have the whereabouts to ask the question, I'm certainly not going to try to give them the answer.
Mhm.
But they froze right there in this parameters that they've been conditioned in,
Mhm.
and that's too bad because if they don't get out of those parameters and out of the conditioning, and I say it all the time, like your mind's like a parachute. If it don't open when you jump out of the plane, hard fall.
Yes.
You gotta have an open mind because
Yeah.
quantum physics requires an open mind, and
Mm.
you get into it. It's quite interesting.
Mm.
I think to me,
Yes.
it's very interesting. I can't get out of my system. I just delve
Yes.
into it all the time.
Oh, absolutely. It's that hunt for answers.
Hmm.
I'm gonna start getting to questions. I just want to let everybody know, like we are streaming live on 8 different platforms, and out of those 8 platforms, there are 7 chat rooms. So I'm not ignoring anybody. I am just kind of making my way down. So first question we'll take is Scott. I have been recording sounds out of the state park on the back of my property, or that my property backs up to. I have captured many different sounds. Some are electrical interference sounds. Ron, have you heard electrical sounds?
Absolutely, yes, yes, um,
And what are your thoughts on that?
yes.
Yeah,
Quite
go
a
ahead.
bit, really. Yeah, there's something else going on besides just the big chatter.
Yeah.
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 In fact,
Well,
I tried to. It had me up there. I think 2011 I was up there, and a metallic sound right outside my tent that I was in. It was my last trip up there by myself, which I didn't want to go, but the guy I was going to take with me backed out, and they were in camp when I was there. Uh, I heard them chattering. Had I had my brand new tape recorder, brand new battery, I should say, lithium battery. I talk about this in my book, Voice in the Wilderness, but it was my last trip when I had that type of interaction, and it was kind of interaction. I started talking to him, even though, but there was a metallic sound at 4 o'clock that morning. 'Cause I didn't sleep that night. I got to tell you,
hmm,
I just laid there, uh, and you don't know what to think about all this. You're just there, and you're all by yourself. There's nobody looking over your shoulder. And I don't encourage anybody to do that because
hmm. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can be a little bit
Unnerving.
concerning. You don't
Yeah.
know what they're going to do. You don't know still don't know. As much as I've dealt with them, as much as they haven't messed with me as far as try to hurt me or harm me in any way.
Mm.
They never offered to do anything like that, but you still don't know. You don't know what the agenda is. You don't know. I don't know. And
Mhm.
yeah, metallic, yes. Uh,
So you don't really know what that is. Could it be there's a theory that with ET, for example, with extraterrestrials, or some people will say, with, like entities kind of tearing through or coming through dimensionally, that they sometimes will hear like a crackling, buzzing sound, when this process is happening. Do you think it could maybe be similar to that when Bigfoot is maybe, if because people believe they're dimensional
You
beings, could
know,
it be
the
this?
metallic sound I heard wasn't from a distance, it was right outside my tent. I mean, and it went on,
Mhm.
and it was just really
Wow.
concerning to me because you don't know what it is. And
Yes.
I
Wow.
was going to try to remember the best I could, and I couldn't. My tape recorder wouldn't work, and
Mm.
that's just the way it went. And as soon as the
Wow.
daylight came, I closed up camp and I took out of there. I had power bars for 3 days. And that's the one thing I think they were looking for is food because we're used to leaving food, and I didn't leave anything out for them. I didn't build a fire that night. I just
Mm.
was by myself and
No
didn't do
food.
it. And this thing was tromping around right outside my tent. Big bipedal, two-legged elephant walking out there, jarring me.
Yes.
And I started talking to it. I said, "I told you not to come back here later because earlier that evening, when it was still daylight, I had a big whap right outside my tent."
Yeah.
I related to it as a wood knock, but in retrospect, it might have been something else. Now that
Yeah.
I've studied trees and studied what's going on, because
Hmm.
I have theories about that one, but we don't know. I didn't see it happen, so you don't know for sure. But
Now, Wayne
I
says
bet
maybe
they
static charge discharging into the environment.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things that is within the realms, of high strangeness and different levels. Because this is something that comes up in each of those categories, like the paranormal or ufology, cryptozoology. So it's just completely fascinates me, all these crossovers
Mhm.
that keep happening. Another question. Ron, hi, Matt. I communicated with Darrell Denton concerning aggressive tree knocks. I completely agree with him that the Bigfoot wanted us out of the area immediately. Is there a language within the knocks?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's a definite singling because they do re- respond to each other with tree knocks. I don't know if it's a language or just a code to you can go closer or get back and stop, one or the other.
Mhm.
Um, who knows? I don't know. I know I've recorded tree knocks. We've had them up there. They're rhythmically done, so there must be some kind of message being sent out. I assume that
Mm.
anyway, because you hear a cracking over here, rocks maybe cracking together over here, responding to the tree knock over here, and
Mhm.
it's all rhythmically too. It's not like there's
Mhm.
not like some rock falling on a rock. It's some rhythm to it,
Hmm.
and so I don't know. I do depending on what you want to call language, but that's a type of language. It's not spoken. It's just heard.
Mm. Yes. So how are they? I mean, this is one of my own curiosities because I interview a lot of people, doing this. And I once had a researcher say that Bigfoot, they don't really like loud noises. He goes, so in other words, don't go out there pots and pans trying to scare them off because he says it's looked at like a sign of war. I'm like, what? Really? Note to self when you're camping. Don't go around smacking your pots and pans around. I don't know. What's your thought on that?
Hey man, I got a dog barking back there.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
by myself.
All right. Yeah.
Hang on, Archie.
Just bring Archie in. He can come and hang out with us.
Um, I'm sorry, Michelle. What was that again?
Okay, what no, about the loud noises, banging the pots and pans around, how they would look at that as a
Oh,
sign of aggression.
yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, if they want to mess with you or they want to interact with you, they'll let me close this door and shut the dog up.
No problem, go ahead. We'll just let Ron take care of the dog anyway. I don't know, what do you guys think? I would think that I wouldn't like it, going around clamoring about pots and pans, trying to scare them out of the area. Okay, now we're
They're
back.
trying to get some interaction. Why would you want to do that anyway?
Right. Well, because
So,
not everybody wants interaction. They're not there, let's say, for example, to interact or, let's face it. Okay, somebody goes camping, they're in Bigfoot territory, which is probably in more areas than people think. I mean, we can look at provincial parks. People go camping in provincial parks, which we know is, high in certain cryptids. You start hearing tree knocking, you hear the stories, you know what the tree knock might be. So you're like, I'm just going to scare them off with these pots and pans and let them know I mean business, which may not work in your favor.
well, the best thing you can do is shine a white light out. Just shine your flashlight around, or hold up a camera. They'll get rid of them.
Yeah. Great. So, okay.
I
So
know.
that would
I
work.
was a person one time, and I said, right now we're in a spot where these things have been seen. We camped in a
Yeah.
tent. There was three of us in there, and I said, now you hear this? If they come around, don't do anything. Just be still. Don't go shining a light or anything like that. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
something happens, and what happens?
Yeah.
First of all, she
Yeah.
wants to jump over in the middle between me and my partner, and
Nice.
then she starts shining light.
Oh boy. Okay.
So,
Well,
anyway,
again,
I'm just saying that because
yeah,
that's what you don't do if you want some interaction. She thought she wanted
yeah,
some until it really happened, but then
right.
fear steps in. And fear is what you got to watch for and all this stuff.
Yes. Wayne says, try that banging pots and pans with a skunk and see if that sort of reaction is what you get. See, that's another thing. They like to come out at night as well. so, um, so what Matt says, he goes, I'm speaking of the repetitions, the tone with the banging, the frequency of the strikes, like a code to each other.
Hmm. I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought that would be a thing. Okay. So, of course, now you look at things like out of all of your years of doing this, what is the technique that you favor using now that you didn't use then, where you might have said to yourself, God, I wish I would have done that back then?
What I do now is just advise people just to be still. Just don't do anything. If you got
Okay.
the right vibration, if you got the right energy, who you are as a person, and they want to interact with you, they'll make the first move. And it's all on their terms and their time. You're
Yeah.
not going to make it happen. You got to just let it happen. If it's going to happen. And
Mm,
if you want it to, some people think they do, but then when it happens, they run away because it's all about fear again.
mm,
Uh, that's
mm.
um, what I would do now differently. Well,
Yeah.
I know more now than what I think I do. I know more now about them now than what I did.
Yes.
And I think I would have treated things a little differently as far as that goes. I would have tried to understand what they were saying to me when I was recording that night.
Hmm.
They're definitely asking me something. It's obvious on the recordings when I was recording them that they were asking me something. And I didn't know what. I was just trying to mimic them. And that
Mm.
was
Yeah.
probably a little bit funny to them in a way, but the cryptolinguist says he thinks they were slowing their rapid chatter down to something that they thought that I could understand.
Mm.
Because it was different sound than what we recorded 2 years earlier in '72, and
Mhm.
just using the same vocal mechanism did both of them, both the
Yes.
samurai died that night in '74 when I was interacting with them outside the shelter, compared to 1972, '71 when we were inside the shelter and they were being very aggressive outside the shelter.
Mm. 2 comments. Scott says, I have heard a tree knock that sounded like a hollow metal pipe. After that, I started hearing other people describe the same sound. A, a hollow metal pipe.
It takes a certain wood hitting on a tree to make the sound that we was hearing, and I know I've tried several different
Yeah. You
uh,
think it could be like
axe handle to something else, trying to
maybe.
make the same sound.
Do you think it could be like a form of Morse code? Like I say that, Wayne makes this comment. He goes, the tree knocks could be a way of communicating without using their voice, making noises that are more in keeping with the forest, perhaps giving their location to others in the group, a simple GPS, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could be.
Um, coined, coined the samurai chatter. Why the samurai chatter?
Why do you call that?
Yeah. Why was it
Well,
coined the samurai chatter?
I was coined in Port Townsend, Washington, when the Matt Moneymaker came up to see me in 1995 and hear the sounds. He'd heard about them already. And he ended up putting them on his bfro.org site. And
Yeah.
he said when he heard that, it sounded like a samurai cry. And that's where he coined the name.
Mhm.
And it stuck with it all these years.
Wow.
I heard the samurai chatter. People say, I heard samurai chatter. I just got 2 emails today saying they heard that. Heard samurai chatter. And
Yeah,
I get
that's crazy.
real regularly, actually, people saying they hear that going on. There's nobody there, they say. There's nobody out there, but yeah, they hear that chatter going on. A
Yes.
lot of times it's associated with something else, like a bright light or something.
Mm.
Uh,
It's it's very interesting that you have this specific group that interacts like that. Have you ever encountered any other, Bigfoot or even, even cryptid, some people believe that, I mean, there are people out there who claim to be able to communicate with Dogman, but with Bigfoot, have you ever come across any other one of these beings that have given you that quality or close of communication?
No, not really. My experience is pretty much focused on the Sierra camp.
Yeah.
All the years I had up there and the different things that went on. Why go somewhere else when you got all that? Now, I've been other places,
Yeah.
no doubt about that,
Yes.
but I've never had the close-up stuff that what we had up there anywhere else.
Mhm.
You know, from actually from Scotland today, and they got a Bigfoot over there. They want me to listen to these sounds they recorded, and I listened to them. It's very unusual. And speaking of metal, it sounded like metal sounds, and it was out in
Mm.
the woods.
Yeah.
And I was on a program in the UK here a week or so ago, and it's just these things are being witnessed all over the world, and
Mhm.
it's not
Yeah.
just here in the United States. It's the dog
Mhm.
man. Now I'm going to get more involved in that when I go back to Tennessee with Darrell again.
Sure. Why would you want to do that?
Well, it's an adventure. Why wouldn't I? You know.
I know, I know. Well, because, you have this nice little safe gig going on here with Sierra, and then you're kinda going into, like, the lion's den. You don't really know what to expect.
Well, I'm at the age where I don't care. I just want the experience. If you
Yeah,
are going
yeah.
to pass on anyway, why not just go out with something fun or something exciting? But
Yeah.
my fear, I think I've got under control. I don't fear this. I don't fear the dog man. I don't fear much of anything.
Mhm,
And I think that's a big element in all this.
mhm.
So
I yeah, that would be a difficult one to overcome because
it
you
really is. That's why I
you
went up there by myself. I've been up there 3 times to the Sierra Camp by myself, just
yes.
to overcome any fear I might have and see if I
Mhm,
could do it. And I did it. And the last time, like I said, was in 2011
mhm,
when I had that last encounter when they were chattering and something
mhm.
walked around my tent. And
Yes,
when I heard the metallic sounds outside at 4 o'clock in the morning, too.
yes. Nice and safe. I like the dog man. Just saying.
Well, I have I had a little 38 with, I call it snake loads, bird shot, in case you
Yeah. Oh,
rattlesnake or
yes.
something, but just for scaring off a bear or something like that, because,
Mhm,
something like that is going to handle one of these creatures if they want to do something bad.
mhm.
But I carry it around with me for other reasons, and
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have. But that's
Mhm,
all I had that night. I was by myself, and not that I was afraid. I wasn't afraid because I started yelling back at them, when they're out there,
mhm.
and I
I think
just
standing your ground.
yeah, I went out. Actually, went outside my tent. Mosquitoes were horrible. I mean, never seen them so bad up there that night, and they
Yeah.
were all over the place. I had my T-shirt out there just waving them off, and
Mm.
I think they thought I was waving a white flag or something. I don't know, but they wouldn't come out when it was still daylight and let me see them, and I was trying to get
Mm.
them to, but I knew they were around. They got
Well,
telltale signs that I can tell when they were around. Yeah.
Martin says, "Can't wait to see you. We've got monsters to see. Found a great location. Ron is the best man to be in the woods with because he controls all emotion, has zero fear. Cool
Oh,
as a
that's so nice,
cucumber,
Martin.
I'm thinking is where we're going
Thank
with
you,
that."
Martin. I love you too, man.
A question from Bruce. Hi, Bruce. I believe in frequency and matter. What's your thoughts? Come to the king of that conversation.
Well, you find the frequency of anything, you can change its matter. That's according to quantum physics. Einstein's said that. That was proven by Paul Dirac, 1933, won the Nobel Prize for antimatter.
Mhm,
And that's been established again by CERN in 2012 with the Hadron Collider when they shot a particle off at high speed and it turned into energy. You can detect energy, but you don't see energy generally unless you have special eyes.
mhm,
So really, energy and matter are interchangeable, and that's how they go out of our visual perception, in my
mhm,
opinion. Now I've wondered for all these years, really, if the sounds because you don't know the scope of these sounds, you don't know how high or how low they can go.
mhm,
You only record little cassette recorders back then, and you don't know if they went what frequency they could reach, other
Mhm.
than way above what we could do as humans. So I've often wondered if maybe they can't find the frequency that would change their matter into energy only, then you wouldn't see them. And that would also be an answer to the disappearing trackways because their density would stop. And
Mhm.
that's my answer to that one. That's
And it
what I
sure
come up
would.
with.
Yeah, with the frequency, the infrasound as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, infrasound affects humans, and
Mm.
that's been going on since World War II when they were trying to control the crowds in Germany. Infrasound it affects you. You don't hear it, but you can
Mhm.
feel it. And
Yeah.
something has frozen me a couple times up there when I wasn't looking for it. I talked about this before, I think, but
Yes. Yeah.
Warren Johnson walking up towards this tree where this thing had to be behind the tree or we just need to run off, and nothing ran off. We got so close to that tree, and all of a sudden we both just got frozen, like just blocked. I
Mhm.
relate that like a force field in Star Trek or something, where you just can't go forward. You don't know how to explain it. I did. I mean, one other time in the woods up there when I was by myself. I
Mhm.
say by myself. We split up when we were hunting about a couple of yards apart, and by way of somebody shoved a deer through, one way or the other, the
Mhm.
other guy might get a shot at us. I don't shoot. I don't kill things anymore, by the way.
Yeah.
Just,
Self-defense. Just scare them off.
I'll throw
Yeah.
that out because I found out we're a warring species, and I don't want to be a.
No.
I think we're supposed to respect this planet we're on, and respect everything that's on it.
Talking to a
I just,
planetary energy worker here. So yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like to see anything.
Yes.
Everything's got its life, its reason, its energy, and
Mm-hmm. So I will ask you this then, since we're talking a little bit scientific with this. What kind of a being um, would you have to be able to project out infrasound?
elephant, giraffe, tigers.
Ha ha ha.
They
Okay,
all
see?
they all they
Yeah,
all they all use infrasound.
yeah.
Large animals in general use
Okay.
infrasound. Uh, that's how they communicate over long distances because infrasound will go
Mhm.
through objects
Yes,
and go through trees
yes,
and things. And
yes. Thank you. Because some people think, I mean, that it's a superpower, and I guess in a way it is, but it's also it's very natural
it's
to some
natural.
species.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
ultrasound. Ultrasound's the higher frequency, above 20,000 hertz, and it's
Mhm,
the dog's whistle, the dog whistle. We don't hear it, but the dogs certainly do.
mhm.
They're tuned into that.
Yes.
Dogs can hear things we don't hear. Everything, all species on this planet adapt to the environment they're in, except
Mhm,
for us. We're the ones who have to build a house and build a shelter and wear
mhm.
clothes, all that stuff. And
Yes.
other animals don't do that.
Maybe we just
Uh,
don't belong here.
what's
We
that?
kinda get maybe we don't belong here. We just sort of got thrown
Oh,
into the mix, and, we're sort of, like, needing to have like, we just all of our wants and needs and, maybe we need to turn the clock back and see how, more primitive people used to live.
that'd be way back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, at one time, I think we were that way.
Yeah. Well, people, who you just some people do better. I think I personally would do better if I didn't have to sit on a highway sharing space with a lot of erratic people, and because we tend to be if I could do infrasound, I think I would do infrasound. It would probably just, be a little bit easier on my driving nerves. But in all reality, I think some people would do better just in small communities. I think big city people being piled on top of one another, you tend to lose sight of the things that are, you know, really important, like the solitude of just going into the forest. I see why people want to go in and just be
Yeah.
solitary and connect with these beings,
Mhm. Yes.
So Rain says, we're not indigenous to this planet. We're either deposited here or we came from another plane of existence. Maybe inner Earth. Maybe.
That's because we're not indigenous.
Yeah. That we're not indigenous to the planet. We were either deposited here or we came from another plane of existence. I believe
Yeah,
we're
could
all
be.
dimensional.
Yeah, could be. I think
Yeah.
we're, yeah, some of us are here planted, some of us are evolved here, and
Mm,
but we've all been genetically,
I know. Here we are.
genetically
Bigfoot's no
mod-
different, apparently. So
well, I
that's
think they were
all we
made
can talk to
before
you
we
more
were.
about.
I think Bigfoot was here before we were Homo sapiens.
Mm,
Homo sapiens came into being right at a certain time, and that's when our, our
mm,
DNA was modified, and we became who we are today, which is a warring species.
mm.
And I think that's because of Enil and Enoch, Inky. I
Yeah.
gotta say it first.
And I know.
The
And
first
Lil and Enki.
time mentioned
Yes.
in the Bible, but they're called different. And it's just amazing how the Sumerian text as old as it is, oldest known written
Mm,
text known to man, 3450 BCE, on
mm.
these great tablets. They're just now deciphering them, really
Yes.
last 100 years, and there's thousands of them. I mean, just history. It's history. If you can believe there's a George Washington from reading our history books, well, this is just like the same way. It's not like something that you got to wonder if it's true or not. Just look at it and read it. And
Mm,
anyway, I imagine they'll come out with a book on it all before too long. I get it all down. A lot of people are chiming in on it, but they're taking pieces of it and
mm.
making up their own conclusions sometimes.
There's been, I think, when you're looking at different resets, I think we've been reset many times, and history has been kept from us after every reset. It's just like wiped clean, start again. You can see this because different parts of the world are finding mines and out of place artifacts that are millions, if not billions, of years old. So we're definitely not the first kick at the can by any means. And
Yes.
with that being said, it is after the top of the hour. So, what would you like to say to all of these
I
fine
just
people
feel
that
an ant crawling around here. Poor thing, his energy's all gone now. Transferred somewhere else. But I told him to do it somewhere else. Anyway, I would like to say thank you, Michelle, for doing what you do. My
Thank you.
best to
Pleasure.
Darrell and Rosie and
Yeah.
Martin. I hope to see you again before too long. And I do have my audiobook on my site now, ronmorehead.com.
Mhm.
For those who want to hear my voice reading my book and hear the Bigfoot sounds integrated into it, that's available. The documentary should be out another month or two by Renaissance. I think I'm going to hold their feet to the fire on that one a little bit, maybe, because they keep
Yes.
waiting for another interview or something. And my goodness, they got so much now, and it's going to be really good. I think it's going to put a lot of people over the hump. But
Yeah, I love that. I love that, and everybody head over to the website, and check it all out. And here's a contact for the show. And the reason I'm putting this up this time, I think I'll have to make one up for Two Real Cryptid Legends, just so people can message me. Um, Give us your thoughts. Because I see there's still questions coming up, and we're out of time. And this would be great for another open mic or open discussion with Darrell and Ron that they can answer your questions. And sometimes we just forget because once this board is gone, the comments are gone. So the outer realm contact at gmail.com, or you can go Michelle Desrochers contact at gmail.com as well. Um, just because this way we can have everything going to one place. So all of these questions and comments that you have can go to one place, and we can sort of create a show based around all of the stuff you guys want to know about. So here's my name. You see it right up here. Just go Michelle Desrochers contact at gmail.com. Let us know what you think. And you know, all these questions and comments you're still putting up, we want to hear about it.
And they can also contact me directly if they want to. I answer emails every day. I'm into that,
Mhm,
doing that for people.
mhm.
And
Yeah. Mm,
I'm happy to do that if I have time. Sometimes it gets away from me a little bit, but
yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. And so
Got a
thank you.
question. I want to wait for 2 weeks. We'll just find
I
out.
know. Well, if we put them all in one place, we could create a whole show around, like if it's pertaining to this, but if there's things that you guys would like to see the guys talk about, then we want to know about it because then they will talk about it. They will address it and we will create a segment based around the things that you guys are requesting from them.
Very good.
Perfect. So sending much love to Rosie and Darrell. Thank you. So thank you everybody who has been in the chat room. You've all been gracious. You've all been just awesome. And again, Scott, thank you for the killer intro. We love it. I was just ready to get some shenanigans going after hearing that. I'll tell you. Anyway, you have been listening to Two Real Cryptid Legends with myself, Michelle Desrochers, and Ron Morehead. We've been broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. So we shall see you guys in another couple of weeks with our counterpart, Darrell Denton, and we'll have another great topic for you all. So thank you again and have a terrific week. Good night.